Welcome to Stoic Toolkit, where we dive deep into the timeless principles of life, growth, and personal empowerment. Today, we're exploring a mindset that has stood the test of time, Stoic wisdom. Imagine a life where you're no longer controlled by fleeting emotions, external validation, or manipulative relationships, a life where you're grounded, intentional, and unshakably strong. If you've ever felt lost in the chaos of life's emotional storms, this episode is for you. Let's uncover how emotional detachment, self-respect, and discipline can transform your life and relationships, setting you on the path to becoming your highest self. 1. Emotional detachment as strength. Imagine stepping away from a toxic relationship, not in anger or bitterness, but with calm wisdom. It takes immense courage to prioritize your inner peace over fleeting emotions. This isn't a sign of indifference, it's a profound act of emotional control, a choice to value your well-being over unnecessary chaos. Letting go becomes an act of self-respect, not surrender. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, emphasize that emotional detachment isn't a weakness to hide but a strength to cultivate. Detachment doesn't mean shutting yourself off from the world. It means choosing how you respond to it. Picture a storm raging outside while you sit by the window, observing it, but not allowing it to destroy the calm inside your home. That's the essence of detachment, strength under control. When someone recognizes that you're emotionally independent, it often brings a moment of clarity. For example, imagine a woman realizing her partner isn't reliant on her for his sense of self-worth. It's not about rejection. It's a mirror reflecting her own insecurities, forcing her to confront the reality that she can't manipulate or anchor someone who's found their own grounding. This emotional self-sufficiency doesn't mean isolation. On the contrary, it makes your connections richer. When you're whole on your own, the relationships you build are chosen out of genuine love, not need. Like a tree with strong roots, you can stand tall through any storm, offering shade to others without losing your ground. In a modern world full of noise and distractions, emotional detachment becomes a superpower. It allows you to stay focused on what truly matters, to invest your energy in growth and purpose. You don't chase approval or fear loss because you've built a fortress within, a place where your strength thrives, undisturbed by the chaos outside. 2. The shock of losing you. Emotional security is a fundamental part of human nature, especially for women, who are often biologically inclined to seek stability in their relationships. Imagine this: when you stop looking to her for validation or approval, it's like pulling the rug out from under a comfortable routine. Suddenly, there's a void where your emotional dependence once stood, and it's a shift she can't ignore. This moment of realization is more than a passing thought, it's a jolt, a wake-up call. She begins to see you in a new light, not as someone who clings or needs her approval to feel whole, but as someone who stands firmly on their own. It's unsettling because it flips the script, showing her that you're no longer emotionally tethered, no longer easily swayed or replaceable. Think about it like this: when you stop orbiting around someone else's expectations, they have to confront the emptiness of that space. Imagine a dance where one partner suddenly stops moving. Everything feels off balance, unnatural. This shock forces her to reevaluate her own role and contributions because you've shown you're not dependent on her for your stability. But this isn't about manipulation, it's about self-respect. By withdrawing your need for her validation, you create room for something more authentic, a relationship built on mutual respect, not emotional bargaining. You've shown that your value doesn't diminish without her approval, and that truth is both powerful and liberating. In a world where so many people chase external validation, stepping back and holding your ground is rare and impactful. It's not just a shock to her system, it's a message to yourself: you are enough, whole, and unshakable, regardless of who stands by your side. 3. Regret and introspection. When you've truly detached emotionally, something remarkable often happens on the other side. The woman begins to look inward, reflecting on her past actions and choices. It's as if a spotlight has been turned on, illuminating moments she may have brushed aside before. Now, she's left wondering why she didn't fully appreciate your value when she had the chance. Regret is a powerful emotion, and it often starts small, a passing thought, a fleeting memory. But over time, it grows into a deeper introspection. She might replay conversations, second-guess her decisions, and ask herself questions she's avoided for too long. Why did she take your patience for granted? Why couldn't she see the stability and self-worth you brought to the table? This reflection isn't a one-time event, it can stretch over weeks or even months. Like ripples on a pond, one regret leads to another, creating a cycle of self-blame and what-ifs. Imagine her scrolling through old messages or stumbling upon a photo of you two, each moment a reminder of what's now out of reach. It's not just about losing you, it's about realizing the depth of her misjudgment. Yet, this period of regret isn't entirely negative. It's also a chance for growth. When we're forced to confront our mistakes, we often emerge with a clearer sense of what matters. While she may be grappling with the pain of hindsight, this process could spark a change, a newfound appreciation for the things she once overlooked. In the end, your detachment becomes more than a personal act of self-respect, it's a catalyst for her self-awareness. It's proof that when you prioritize your emotional strength, it can ripple outwards, prompting others to reflect on their own growth. Whether or not paths cross again, your value remains unmistakable, etched into her memory and her lessons. 4. Yearning to reconnect. When the reality of losing you sets in, something predictable often happens, she reaches out. It might start subtly, a text about something random, a comment on a shared memory, or a casual, "How have you been?" But beneath the surface, it's more than curiosity. This is her attempt to bridge the emotional gap, driven by a deep-seated need for security and a desire to regain what's been lost. These gestures may seem innocent, but they're often calculated. She's testing the waters, trying to gauge whether she still holds sway over you. It's not just about reconnecting, it's about reasserting a sense of control. Imagine someone tugging at a door they assumed was always open, only to find it locked. That moment of resistance is what makes your detachment so powerful. Your emotional unavailability speaks volumes without saying a word. It shows her that you've moved beyond old patterns, that you won't be swayed by surface-level attempts to regain footing. This isn't about being cold or unkind, it's about setting a standard. You're no longer the person who seeks validation or settles for less than what you deserve. Think of it like a negotiation. By maintaining your emotional distance, you communicate that respect and mutual value are the only currency you accept. You're not playing hard to get, you've simply stopped playing the game altogether. This forces her to reflect on what she brings to the table and whether she's willing to meet you on equal terms. In a world where emotional availability is often taken for granted, your stance becomes a statement of strength. It's a reminder that genuine connections aren't built on manipulation or neediness but on mutual respect and shared value. And when you uphold that standard, you not only protect your peace, you elevate the quality of every relationship you allow into your life. 5. Persistent memories and regret. As the days turn into weeks and months, the memories of your relationship begin to take on a life of their own. They grow sharper, more vivid, and more poignant, replaying in her mind like an old, familiar song. What once felt like fleeting moments now carry an emotional weight, serving as constant reminders of what's been lost. These memories aren't just nostalgic, they're painful. They linger like echoes in an empty room, making her acutely aware of the absence of something she now sees as irreplaceable. It's not just about missing you, it's about realizing the depth of the connection she let slip away. The weight of these thoughts becomes a psychological burden, heavy and hard to shake. Caught in the spiral of what-ifs, she starts to question everything. What if she had valued you more? What if she had acted differently? What if she could somehow turn back time? These questions haunt her, creating a cycle of regret that's hard to escape. It's like walking through a maze of her own making, with every turn leading back to the same painful truth: you're gone, and she let it happen. But this cycle of regret doesn't just hurt, it holds her back. Instead of moving forward, she's trapped in a loop, unable to fully let go of the past. The unresolved emotions, the unspoken words, the unrealized potential, they all keep her tethered to a story that can no longer be rewritten. And in this process, the lesson becomes clear: your presence wasn't just another chapter in her life, it was a turning point. By walking away, you didn't just protect your own emotional well-being, you left an indelible mark that forces her to confront her own growth. In the end, the memories she clings to are a testament to your value, a reminder that the absence of something meaningful is far more impactful than the presence of something mediocre. 6. The final realization. In the end, a profound truth dawns on her: what you shared was not ordinary, nor was it something easily replaced. It's not just the connection itself, but the kind of person you are, a man of integrity, grounded in principles that don't waver with fleeting emotions or the need for external validation. This realization hits her with the weight of finality, forcing her to see what she lost in a way she couldn't before. You're not just someone who drifted away, you're a high-value individual who chose to prioritize self-respect and emotional independence. That choice, while painful for her, underscores your strength. It's not arrogance or detachment for the sake of pride, it's the clarity that you refuse to settle for anything less than what aligns with your values. Her acknowledgement of this truth is bittersweet. On one hand, it's a painful reminder of the extraordinary things she let slip away. On the other, it's a reflection of her own growth, a recognition of what she failed to see when it mattered most. Like a rare gem that was overlooked until it was gone, your worth becomes undeniable in its absence. Yet, your emotional composure remains steadfast, unaffected by her regrets or attempts to re-enter your life. This isn't coldness but a quiet confidence that speaks louder than any words. By remaining true to yourself, you communicate that your value isn't up for negotiation, it's inherent and unwavering. This final realization leaves an indelible mark, not just on her but on the story you leave behind. You've shown her, and the world, that a life lived with purpose and emotional strength is one of true value. And whether or not paths cross again, the legacy of your connection remains, a powerful reminder that genuine worth doesn't fade, even in absence. 7. The Stoic Approach. Your mastery of emotions is what sets you apart. Like the Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, you've learned to navigate the highs and lows of life with composure and clarity. It's this unshakable emotional control that makes her realization of your loss so profound. You weren't just another fleeting presence in her life, you were someone who embodied strength and purpose, a rarity in a world driven by impulsive reactions. True strength lies in this emotional mastery, in the ability to live with intention rather than being swayed by the chaos of the world around you. It's about holding your ground when storms rage, about acting from a place of principle rather than insecurity. You've shown that detachment isn't about avoiding emotions but about choosing how and when to engage with them. This philosophy isn't just about relationships, it's a blueprint for life. When you live with purpose, rooted in your values, you create a foundation that no external force can shake. The world may test you, but your inner peace and self-assurance remain intact. This is the essence of the Stoic mindset, and it's what makes your journey so inspiring. For anyone watching or listening, this approach offers a powerful lesson. It's not about avoiding connections or closing yourself off, it's about prioritizing your growth and staying true to your principles. When you embody this mindset, you don't just elevate yourself, you set a standard for the kind of relationships and life you deserve. The Stoics teach us that strength isn't loud or aggressive, it's calm, steady, and resolute. By embracing this philosophy, you not only navigate life's challenges with grace but also inspire others to do the same. In the end, living with this kind of purpose isn't just rewarding, it's transformative. Stay steadfast, stay intentional, and let your journey speak for itself. 8. The emotional power shift. When you embrace emotional detachment as a high-value man, something transformative happens. The power dynamics in the relationship begin to shift. Your choice to step back doesn't just create a void, it alters the very foundation of how she perceives and interacts with you. You're no longer operating from a place of need or dependency, and this change is both unsettling and captivating to her. There's a timeless allure to self-sufficiency. Women are often drawn to men who are grounded, who don't rely on external validation to define their worth. By becoming emotionally independent, you break free from the unspoken rules of the emotional game. You show her, and yourself, that your value isn't tied to her approval or attention, it's intrinsic and unwavering. This shift is powerful because it disrupts her expectations. When you stop seeking her validation, you're no longer playing by the emotional framework she may have relied on to maintain control. Instead, you set your own terms, demonstrating that your happiness and stability come from within. This confidence and independence make you more desirable, not because you're trying to be, but because you embody a rare strength that's impossible to ignore. Think of it like walking away from a chessboard mid-game. Suddenly, she realizes that the moves she thought were strategic no longer apply, and the balance of power has shifted entirely. You're not playing the game anymore, you're standing apart, defining your own rules, and that makes all the difference. In this new dynamic, your emotional detachment becomes a tool of empowerment, not manipulation. It's a declaration of self-worth, a refusal to compromise your peace for fleeting validation. By embracing this mindset, you don't just elevate yourself, you redefine the terms of connection, setting a higher standard for what you're willing to accept in relationships and in life. 9. Learning the value of boundaries. When you walk away with grace and emotional control, you send a powerful message about the value of boundaries in relationships. This act isn't about creating distance for the sake of ego, it's about affirming your self-respect and teaching that healthy relationships thrive on mutual understanding and limits. Boundaries aren't walls, they're bridges that guide how two individuals can meet each other with respect. For a woman who may have relied on manipulation or control to navigate emotional dynamics, this shift is a wake-up call. She's forced to confront the reality that she can no longer sway or dictate your emotions. This hard truth reveals something essential: respect and mutual value are the cornerstones of any meaningful connection. Anything less leads to imbalance and eventual discontent. This experience often teaches her a lesson she may not have encountered before, that real relationships aren't about dependence or power plays. They're about equality, about standing side by side as two whole individuals who choose to be together because they genuinely add value to each other's lives. Your ability to hold firm to your boundaries reinforces this truth in a way words never could. Imagine a world where everyone maintained their boundaries with the same clarity. Emotional stability, mutual respect, and genuine connection would replace insecurity and manipulation. Your decision to walk away doesn't just protect your peace, it sets a higher standard for the kind of relationship dynamics that create lasting fulfillment. In the end, maintaining boundaries isn't just a statement of self-worth, it's a lesson in what it takes to build something real. By staying true to your values, you don't just shape your own life, you inspire those around you to grow and evolve. Boundaries, after all, aren't just about keeping negativity out, they're about creating space for something truly meaningful to grow. 10. Empowerment through Stoic wisdom. The ultimate truth lies in understanding that emotional control, discipline, and self-respect are the keys to true empowerment. When you master these principles, you align yourself with a life of purpose, a life driven by values, not external noise. It's not about proving your worth to others, it's about knowing your worth comes from within and refusing to let the world define it for you. Think about it, when you stop chasing validation or approval, you reclaim your energy. You no longer let fleeting opinions dictate your sense of self. Instead, you ground yourself in who you are and what you stand for. This inner strength doesn't just make you unshakable, it makes you truly powerful, someone who commands respect without ever demanding it. This wisdom, rooted in the teachings of Stoicism, is a guide for navigating life's inevitable challenges. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. By embracing this mindset, you remain steady amidst chaos, growing stronger with every storm. Your emotional resilience becomes not only a shield but a tool for self-mastery. The beauty of Stoicism is that it encourages you to rise above the distractions, to focus on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and choices. It teaches you to live intentionally, aligning your life with your highest self. When you adopt this approach, challenges are no longer obstacles, they're opportunities to refine your character and grow. This journey isn't about perfection, it's about progress. By embracing Stoic wisdom, you empower yourself to lead a life of clarity and purpose. You become the architect of your destiny, unshaken by external forces, and guided by the principles that make you the best version of yourself. This is where true power lies, not in the opinions of others, but in the strength you cultivate within. The journey to emotional mastery isn't easy, but it's one of the most rewarding paths you can take. By embracing Stoic wisdom, you empower yourself to live with clarity, strength, and purpose, no matter what challenges come your way. Remember, your worth is not defined by others, it's rooted in the values and discipline you cultivate every day. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Stoic Toolkit for more insights on personal growth and Stoic philosophy. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What step will you take today to reclaim your emotional strength? Let's build a community of resilience and purpose together. Until next time, stay steadfast and keep striving for the best version of yourself.